As you sit back, Chris Canty, and analyze the Cowboys coaching situation, what move do you think they should make?
They got to fire the head coach. I mean, if you're not going to be able to move on from the quarterback, then what's your alternative? I don't think that this tandem, the head coach and the quarterback, are going to get Jerry Jones to where he wants to go. So the only option you have is to address the coaching staff because you know the quarterback is going to be there. If they cut Dak Prescott, it's going to be a $90 million dead cap. If they trade Dak Prescott, it's going to be a $60 million dead cap. So Dak is going to be your quarterback in 2023. In order to change the results on the field, you got to do something different. To me, that suggests that you need to move on from the head coach.
Why are you making that face when he's making such sense?
It's not such sense. Like
You just keep doing the same thing over and over again and hope for a different result?
Yes, sometimes yes. You can improve on what you've done. When you've built a foundation, just because you haven't won the Super Bowl every year doesn't mean you have to flip it all over. Like the idea that the Cowboys have failed or that Mike McCarthy has underachieved, I think is kind of absurd. They should have won the playoff game last year. This year, they went up against a team that we all knew was better. They went on a road on a short week and lost a game to a team that we know is better. Extrapolating from that we need to fire the head coach or trade the quarterback or blow everything up, to me seems like an overreaction that's just unnecessary.
But Dom, how much longer should Jerry Jones wait? How much more patient should he be with Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott? Because this window with this current core of players, it's starting to close now.
Agreed.
It's starting to close. You're not going to be able to keep Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb and Zach Martin and all of these players together. Those guys are going to be in line for contracts the next couple of years, and they want top of the market money. So what are you going to do?
That's where Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have to continue to draft well. But the point that I'm making is just assuming that a change is going to improve things suggests that they're at the bottom. That's what you do when you're terrible. You're like, hey, can't get no worse than this. Knocking all the pieces off the table and starting all over. They aren't bad.
I understand
but they ain't
that.
at the top of the division either.
But let me ask you a different question. If we look at the two teams that are playing this weekend, do we look at the Eagles and say to ourselves, boy, they have a spectacular young coach. He has done an unbelievable job there, turned everything around. Look at the offense. San Francisco, we look at their coach. Boy, Kyle Shanahan, that is a brilliantly coached team. They could do anything. When we look at the Cowboys, do you feel that way? If you're owning that team right now, do you think, boy, my team is coached as well as I can manage to get it?
Well, I mean, I think you look at both of those teams, you look at the rosters, and you're more impressed with the rosters than anything. I think you're right about Kyle Shanahan, and obviously they're doing a good job coaching there, but I'm not sure that we have to appreciate what Nick Sirianni has done, but I think people are more celebratory of what Howie Roseman has built in Philadelphia more than Nick Sirianni.
I think let's take a step back. To Dominique's point, the rosters are not the same. Like, that really is the issue. So when you're looking at the Eagles, when you're looking at the Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, when we started this season, was everybody saying the Cowboys are going to make the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Okay. So when Dak, was it week 18, everybody's like, oh, that's the Dak. Or the first
playoff
round.
game
Right,
against Tampa.
Right. It was like, oh, that's the Dak we've been waiting to see. And now all of a sudden, a week later, it's like, well, throw all this crap out the window. This is a horrible team. It's just the up and down roller coaster of it all. It just needs to chill for a second. Don't say something crazy. Bishop.
D. Wood.
Don't do it.
Say something crazy.
Don't do it.
Say something crazy.
I think watching the Dallas Cowboys, particularly in that divisional game, what it told me was that Dak is not the guy. He's not a force multiplier. He's not the guy that can literally put a franchise on his shoulders and win it. He needs more parts around him. That's what I feel like. I feel like he needs more. He needs more. Wait, hold on. Connect. It's to me like I don't view Dak and Joe Burrow the same.
No,
I don't view them the same. I view them as Dak. Can you win a chip with Dak? Yes. But you need more. You need more pieces around him.
Hold on. We got to do this though. Hold on one second. We're sitting here saying that the Cowboys aren't a talented roster, or they're going. Well, you're saying they're inferior from a talent standpoint to other teams. I can't buy into that, man.
Okay.
Now, hold on.
Let him talk. Let him make his case.
You're talking about a team that has a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense, a team that has Pro Bowl players on all 3 levels of their defense. They were tops in takeaways this year. You're talking about having an all-pro wide receiver, a 1,000-yard rusher, a franchise tag tight end, and a $40 million quarterback. I'm tired of the excuses as to why the Dallas Cowboys can't get it done. And we sit here and talk about Mike McCarthy, and it's not his fault. Well, Mike McCarthy didn't handle the game management at the end of that San Francisco game in the divisional round, just like he didn't handle the game management at the end of the wild card round last year. At some point, we have to hold somebody accountable. You can't do it to the quarterback. Why wouldn't you do it to the head coach?
You can hold them all accountable, but the idea that they haven't gotten better or that they can't continue to get better and that just anything, just fire them is better. The thing that really frustrates me is the idea that there is a quarterback out there that can do it alone. Like, it's a myth that we keep perpetuating for whatever reason. Like, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl because he got surrounded by a great team.
Oh, hold on.
So same thing with Burrow. Like, Burrow's surrounded by a great team.
So you say there's not levels to quarterback?
No, I think there are levels to quarterback.
Okay,
but
that's all I'm saying.
We just saw Josh Allen get smashed too in a game.
The Bills
and nobody's out here talking about he's not a force multiplier. Like, it just seems unfair the way that we criticize Dak and the ways that we're not willing to do to other quarterbacks. The only point I'm making.
Wait a minute. Did I criticize Dak?
You did.
Did I?
He's not a force multiplier.
He's not like
He's not.
I'm saying
he's not. Okay.
Every quarterback needs an offensive line. They need weapons.
things.
Like, you can't be out there by yourself thinking you're going to win.
Everything can't be perfect if I'm paying you $40 million a year.
We saw Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl not have a good offensive line and running around, and the Tampa Bay Bucks beat them, right? Like, we've seen great quarterbacks falter in moments because of the situation around them.
That's true. But let's not pretend that he's doing it with less than everybody else is. We've seen people do a lot more with a lot less than they did in Dallas this year.
We're just talking about these teams still left, right?
I just feel it's just shocking to me that we want to fire everybody after they played a more talented team on a short week on the road. And we're like, oh, we got to blow it all up. No, they lost the game that they probably should have lost. Dak was terrible in that game, but they still lost the game that they probably should have lost. That's no reason to blow up the whole team and get a new coach.
No, all I'm going to say is this.
Real quick.
Greeny, because I know you got to get out.
Yeah.
We need to come back to this.
There you go, Bishop. There you go, Bishop.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.